celebrate people and history and identity is what we do.
Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Pride Sunday from your community station, and it is our joy to have you with us this morning on Pride Sunday in the Bay. Hi, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. It's my honor to be here, year 3 for me doing this. And listen up, Bay Area family. Whether you will attend the Pride Parade and festivities in the city or watching a streaming, maybe in the palm of your hand or in your living room, you take this to the bank. You remember this. Today is about family. We're going to talk about, we're going to see hope, we're going to feel the love, and we're going to walk a little taller with pride, okay? Stand up wherever you are. Walk a little taller with pride. We are also mindful that you might be watching us from out of town, maybe out of state, or maybe even outside of the United States in communities that don't yet know the colors of pride. So just remember this. You're part of our family the next 2 hours. You come be across our table with us. And all across the Bay Area, we are going to bring you that hope, love, and pride. We're building to this moment. Today, it all culminates in the heartbeat of San Francisco. In fact, look at this. Our cameras are live right now at the parade route of the 55th annual San Francisco Pride Parade. Might be a little quiet, a little sedate right there. The wind's just picking up the pride flag to the left. But trust us, in just a little while, about a half hour, these streets will transform into a sea of rainbows and floats and fabulous 3 snaps fashion and unapologetic joy. In fact, we use that term quite literally because the theme for this year's Pride Parade, Queer Joy is Resistance. It's a message meant to inspire. So let's go live to Inspiration Central, Market Street in our Kelsey Thorid, my buddy out there. Kelsey, all afternoon long, we're going to be talking about the stories of pride in our community. But let's start with heart, my friend. And I see you're wearing that T-shirt on purpose. What does today mean to you, Kelsey?
Hey, Reed. Yeah, I know. For those of you that watched the parade last year, you will see I'm in the same shirt I wore last year. I think I'm going to make it my annual Pride shirt. Of course, like so many people in the LGBTQ community, I also celebrate Pride with joy. My wife and I also, like so many gay people, got married in June. So it is one of the months that we, really celebrate, go out, just enjoy the love between the two of us, like so many people are doing here today. Now, as you said, we still have a little bit before the parade starts, about a half hour, but there have been people lining the streets here for, I would say, even before we got here a few hours ago. So I was actually able to speak with these ladies earlier, and we're going to go talk to them about what Pride means to them. Hey, guys, how are you? Okay, so I know you guys were saying that you live nearby, and this is your first Pride Parade. So why did you want to come out? What are you excited to see?
Oh, everything and everybody. Just to offer our support, our love, and to show that we stand with them.
And what about you?
Same. I just wanted to show my love, my support, to show that these people mean the world and that we are here for them.
I have to comment that you both are wearing Golden Girls shirts. Oh, all 3 of you. Oh my goodness. I love that. And they're all different. Yeah. Where did you guys get these shirts? So I know you said you've been to the parade before. And so what do you like about it? Why do you keep coming back?
I mean, it's great entertainment, people watching. I love seeing the drag. I love, it's fun. That's all I can really say.
Yeah. What does Pride mean to you? I know that's can be a bit of a deep question, but what does it mean to you? I know.
I mean, Pride is just, the LGBT community just, coming together and showing their pride and, showing everybody that, we're here and get used to it. Yeah. So.
Well, I love that you guys have the seats out. You're ready. You look comfy, which is good because we all know this is you guys don't know this is your first parade, but it is a long parade. So I'm glad you brought seats and everything. So have fun. Thanks, guys. Yeah. That's just, one group of people that are here, guys. But this place is lined. The parade still getting underway here in a little bit. There's going to be a lot more people coming up, Reed, but it's fun to just talk to people who are excited. And still, so many people are coming for the very first time.
In Golden Girls T-shirts, no less. Picture it, Sicily,
Exactly.
1942. Yeah. Picture it, San Francisco, 2025. I got a question for you, Kelsey. Are you more of a Dorothy, a Rose, a Blanche, or a Sophia?
Okay, I have to admit to you, Reed, I might be not the best lesbian because I have not watched a lot of Golden Girls. So I'm just going to go with Betty White because I love her.
Betty
So,
White.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Betty, you can't go wrong with Betty White. We're going to get you another
Exactly.
T-shirt that maybe says #not the best lesbian, using your words,
I know.
my friend.
That's a good one.
I think you're the best at everything you do, and I'm so glad to share the screen with you. I love my wife. What's your wife's name?
Oh, Heather. And she's in the parade. So
Hey,
we may
Heather.
see her again. She's a part of Cheer SF. So,
Okay,
yeah.
we love you, we love Heather, we love everybody out there. That's what this day is about, hope, love, and pride. Let's all remember this, though. Pride started as a protest, and San Francisco Pride is one of our nation's Goliaths in LGBTQ plus activism and protests against stripping away of rights. So presence on the parade route is always about power, right? So today, yes, it's a party, but also presence as power. And to that end, 250 groups will strut and dance and celebrate their way. Sophia, Blanche, Rose, you know, whatever Golden Girls character you are, they're going to be down there on the parade route. In fact, this is the route right now here on the floor. This excitement, it stretches about 1.5 miles. The parade kicks off over at Beale and Market, as you just saw. It ends over on 9th Street. Huge celebration. Go down there, meet a friend, meet an ally down at Civic Center Plaza. It is going to be a beautiful day. So as we look forward in community, we also remember the struggles and the achievements of our LGBTQ plus family of trailblazers and icons, everyday heroes who maybe didn't make it to this day, who we keep in our hearts, who continue to inspire us. So, as we say on your community station all the time, our stories define us, and those stories bring the real conversations about the challenges facing your LGBTQ plus neighbors and family members in today's social and political climate. But remember the words of Harvey Milk. Will you do that with me? Hope will never be silent. So out proud and out loud, stories from drag kings, artists, and performers who are finally stepping into the spotlight after years in the shadows of an underground scene. Their presence today is bold, beautiful, and long overdue. We're going to also talk about the power of advocacy in families today, led by the story of a Bay Area deputy sheriff who proudly wears a patch on his uniform, a symbol of love and solidarity for his daughter. We're also talking about this, the manager of a legendary LGBTQ plus bar. It's a place that's been more than just a watering hole, right? It gives people a safe space and a welcoming space to gather for decades. Today's about you, friends, the fabulous people who make up the tapestry of our beautiful LGBTQ plus community, the allies who step off the curb against all odds to do what my friend Walnut Creek Bay Area advocate Carolyn Pearson always says, and that is this: I will walk with you. So for communities all over the world, the Bay Area is literally the city on the hill, flying proudly, that pride flag, that presence and that power, that symbol. So again, whether you're watching from the Bay Area or elsewhere, just look up. Flags are flying for you. They've been flying all month as symbols of hope and love and pride. In fact, we remember these colors woven together by Gilbert Baker in 1978 at the request of Harvey Milk that represent unity and acceptance and joy.
Happy Pride! Come get your hugs!
So in addition to today's SF Pride Parade, other communities sent the message of inclusion to the people who live in them. To Santa Rosa, where earlier this month their Pride Parade brought people together as they've done for 4 decades. Santa Rosa Pride, we see you out there in your Pride color AC/DC shirt and the lovely rainbow hearts. We also go next to the water in beautiful Santa Cruz, where the celebrations included colorful inflatables and motorcycles and a marching band. And at the ready and rocking Pride colors in Richmond, we see and celebrate you as well. We will walk with you. So listen, family, Pride isn't Pride and a parade isn't a parade without drag artists and activists. So joining me for the next 2 hours, Bay Area's Baby Shakes, shaking loose the topics and the looks. Welcome, Baby Shakes Monroe.
I'm so happy to be back, Reed. Hi.
It's lovely to be with you. I feel like I should bow or something.
But that's okay. You can kiss the ring, too. It's fine.
I'll kiss the ring gladly, my friend. Listen, we know this to be true. Drag is fun, but it's also fundamental, right?
Absolutely.
So give the children out there, serve it up, a little message about the lesson of the presence and power of drag queens in the movement. Because we know drag queens are not just for entertainment. They're entertaining, right? So
Yes.
talented.
Wow.
But they also led protests all the way back to Stonewall. Give us a little history lesson.
Oh, even before Stonewall, the Compton cafeteria riots.
Right here.
Right here in San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah, I think drag queens were and have always been some type of safe haven for people, right? Let me bring you in like mothers almost, like a guardian, a parent.
Family.
So it makes total sense that drag queens would be like in the front of the lines, right? They're going to protect family first.
Yep. And we love that. And listen, if you're watching, no matter from where you're watching, this is your mother for the next 2 hours. I'll be your dad, okay? San Francisco is more than 50 years in the Pride running, but this year this wonderful celebration was facing some funding challenges. So our Cara St. Cyr gives us a look at that.
This was a DJ that was having fun on the main stage. I love his jacket and the big crowd.
Jose Perez's phone is a treasure trove of memories, reflecting 42 years of Pride parades.
That's me working the main stage.
As a longtime participant and volunteer, the event has always been deeply important to Perez and others within his community.
I noticed that a lot of young people were coming to Pride, and the look that you see in their face, you know, when they come out and they can express themselves with just being themselves, being able to hug each other and wear whatever they want and be themselves and be with the tribe, be with people that are like them.
But the future of the event he loves is uncertain. Organizers say ticket sales are lower than normal, and notable sponsors like Comcast, Anheuser-Busch, and beverage giant Diageo pulled out of this year's event, leaving the organization in a deficit.
Right now I'm about $175,000 short.
A deficit Suzanne Ford, the executive director of San Francisco Pride, is desperately trying to fill. Ford says operating costs for the event total about $3 million. The bulk of its funding comes from corporate sponsorships, some of which have slowly rolled back their support. Without that money, Ford says programming for next year's parade might be altered.
You know, I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. If we gave up when it looked like things might be in jeopardy, then we would never have got through 2022.
As for Perez, seeing sponsorships disappear hurts.
Those brands that abandoned us this year, that turned their back on us, and we don't need you when we're having a good time. We need you when we really need you, like now that we're in danger.
But he remains optimistic.
We're a beacon of hope.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, you know, allyship, right? It's not only just showing up on the parade route like we saw our wonderful 3 neighbors who were there in the chairs, but it's also corporate leadership and corporate sponsorship. You work in fundraising as part of what you do as a drag entertainer and an advocate and ally. And how do you feel about the fact that some of these sponsors have pulled out?
It's an interesting story. I mean, the reality is that Pride Parade is about the community and about the family that we were just talking about, and really amplifying those voices. And I could see some like view versions of it going, oh wow, it's just a lot of a specific brand or whatever. That's the thing slapped on the side. And a lot of people don't quite understand that got there from money, and that money helps support maybe like the big event happening in Civic Center, it's at the stage, things like that. There's a lot going on, but ultimately at the end of the day, parade is out of the community. So, you know, if big companies are wanting to pull out or maybe not show up in the parade, I really hope they put their money where their mouth is and actually benefit their employees and help them support and, you know, gender identity and their type of families, marriage, equality, things like that. Those are things that companies can actually, you know, get in there.
We've definitely seen a little bit of a change. I remember when you could see pride flags at Target, they're no longer there. So, you know, it's a conversation that's evolving, and it's an important one to have when we see the support and when we see the erosion of support. You might be familiar with Bay Area's drag queen culture, right? But today we shine a light on the lesser-known community of drag kings. Our Lauren Toms gives us a yes and a hallelujah.
I'm Mud the Two-Spirit. I am Hota Mercury.
In San Francisco's vibrant drag scene, the glitter and glam often shine on drag queens. But in dark bars and bright stages alike, another royal court is claiming space, drag kings.
Why I wanted to be a king over a queen is I feel like I'm a queen in life.
Drag kings like Major Hammy are performers who play with masculinity on stage. They've been a part of drag history for more than a century, but for Major, it's also a form of personal power.
I feel so confident as Major Hammy in a way that I did not for the longest time feel as myself walking through the world.
The hour-long transformation is as much about expression as it is about rebellion, as queer and trans communities are facing increasing political threats to their freedom of expression.
Being Indigenous, being Black, like part of our culture is storytelling. Part of our culture is putting on makeup. Part of our culture is like connecting to community, connecting to people, and sharing these stories to create a narrative of safety.
The city's drag scene doesn't fit into just one box. It tells stories of power, of history, and joy at a time when these kings say their presence is more important than ever.
The genderlessness and the genderfulness of it all, like, simultaneously. And, like, I think that really expresses how I feel, like, in my everyday life. It's like, I'm so full of gender that I have so many different ways to express it.
Anyone can be a drag queen. But for drag kings, we're usually queer women, non-binary people, and trans men who are expressing masculinity on a stage.
Dr. Joy Ellison not only studies gender's role in history, but performs as a drag king. They say drag kings have long thrived in underground troops, building a foundation strong enough to hold a throne of their own.
Drag kings have tended to be more in those underground venues, and that's actually our superpower. That means that we've been more creative, we've been able to be more political, and we've been able to center our community in really, really powerful ways.
And as these kings prepare to take the stage, they're marching into their own renaissance.
San Francisco drag is art.
Yeah.
It is not
It's insane.
for people. It is a
crazy.
little
Well,
bit
yes,
wild.
it's
Look at us.
insane.
Look at us.
Literally.
They aren't just putting on a show. They're celebrating community through the art of drag.
Stomping the house down boots and cowboy boots at that, right?
Yes. I love this story. That was such a great little background of what's going on. It's just absolutely incredible.
It's awesome. And you do some drag on ice with some of those performers,
I
right?
do, actually. I was looking at the first performer, Drag Queens on Ice is when I started. But, you know, drag kings are just as valid. And finally, that drag queen story is now drag on ice. It's all drag art on ice. I love it.
Yep.
Well, up next, a huge turnout this Pride weekend to support our trans brothers and sisters.
And more from the parade route. We will be right back on this Hope, Love, and Pride Sunday. Shake a tail feather, everybody, and stay right where you are. You better be dancing in your kitchen if you're not on that parade route. In fact, let's just pause right now. Get out, dance. Come on. Welcome back, everybody. You are looking live from San Francisco, and let me tell you, the energy is about to start to build as we count down to the start of the Pride Parade right there on Market Street, where in just a few moments, the rainbows are gonna roll, everybody. So let's focus on a celebrated tradition. It's all a part of Pride Weekend. And by the way, we're joined once again, Baby Shakes Monroe. Gotta just make sure that you get that shout out, right? So the Trans March is one of the largest transgender events in the entire world. And it's so important. Again, remember, presence, power, visibility. Our Andrea Nakano was there watching.
Roughly 20,000 people marched from Dolores Park to the Tenderloin as one trans community supporting each other. The Reyes-Hodges family marched for the first time with their daughter recently coming out as trans.
Coming out myself when I was young, you know, that was hard. I could just imagine how hard that was for my parents. And then when she came out, you know, it was like, oh, crap.
As a mother, just thinking about all the obstacles that she will face, not about the physical or anything about the transition itself, because I will support her no matter what. But it's just that, like, what are the obstacles and the challenges? Life is already hard enough.
Pathy Reyes-Hodges says she was nervous and cried as she told her parents about her transition, but at this march feels lucky to be supported by the community and by her parents.
And I'd rather they be here with me than like not, and that's just, it means a lot that they both came out here.
We love her, so that is what it is, you know. I'd much rather have her here with me than with us than not here at all, because they don't feel accepted.
Organizers of the Trans March say this year's event is an act of resistance.
To be trans is to transcend the idea of every binary that exists. Nothing is just about either or.
Barry also says with a wave of anti-trans legislation already introduced this year, it was especially important for the trans community to speak out.
There's an argument whether the trans should even be in LGBT. However, for me, trans people are disproportionately impacted. What that means is there's not even that much of us, but there's more of us that get arrested, more of us that are homeless, more of us that can't get jobs.
Many say seeing this turnout gives them hope for the future, that one day trans people will be accepted and understood.
We're all in this earth for so little. Such a small amount of time. Like, all we want is happiness, love, to just live life.
Love that story. So you're out on the parade routes, but you're also at so many events. And when you have a family member come up and they share their story with you, or you have a young trans person come to you, and what do you say in this environment right now?
You're valid, you matter, I love you. Love literally heals everything. It is a guide for everything that we can do.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Well, that is the heartbeat and the pulse of this broadcast. And so we all hope you feel that as we talk about some of the more difficult things right now that really put us in this position in space and time. All of this is happening at a time when trans rights are under attack in a very organized way, no less. It was less than 2 weeks ago, the Supreme Court upheld a law in Tennessee restricting access to medical treatment for trans youth. It includes puberty blockers, hormone therapy for people under 18 who might be experiencing gender dysphoria, and the fear, of course, is that this could bolster more legal attacks on other trans rights. So when you talk to those young people or their allies, Baby Shakes, out there at any event, and they say, but I know you say I'm loved, I know you say I'm supported, but yet this is what's happening there in the halls of the U.S. Supreme Court, how do you keep hope alive to them?
I mean, you just have to keep giving love unconditionally, and you have to keep reminding people that their voice matters, to show up. And inspire people. Not everyone is in that place where they can just be right in the front and loud and screaming and stuff like that. It's a lot. It takes a lot of energy. But knowing that there are people around you and who will continue to support you and stand up for you, like those three ladies that were sitting out on the parade route earlier.
Yeah, our Golden Girls.
Yeah, they're there to be allies.
Do you have to understand someone's journey in order to support them? Because I know a lot of parents out there may think, I just don't understand. Do you have to have this in order to have this?
I mean, yeah, the real root of it all is you really just want people to be authentically themselves. And if someone comes to you and says, hey, my name is beep boop, and this is whatever, how I identify, who are we to tell them no? So instead, we should be kind of leading with love. Not kind of, we should be leading with love and going, okay, girl, that's your name. That's what you want to identify. I love you. Who am I to tell you how to live your life?
I love it. And we speak your name out there. So up next, we really have an example of this love, unconditional love. It's a story of a local deputy sheriff spreading inclusivity and love and support, badges that start in honor of his daughter, but lend a lot of hope, love, and pride all over this Bay Area community.
I think about Vanessa every time I'd wear it. It's a way of showing that, hey, I support her and the LGBTQ community.
And also, this event attracting young and old. Up next, we're gonna show you why some drag queens are trading in their heels for some wheels. We're rolling on.
Most drag performers, we're all like out at the clubs and it's late night and it's, you know, not all ages. And this is a way that we can like connect with our community.
Hope, love, and pride on your community station, CBS News Bay Area. So proud to bring you this live view of the Pride Parade route in San Francisco. Festive mood there on San Francisco's Market Street as the parade is about to get underway at any moment. And as soon as we see those bikes rolling, you know what I'm talking about, we'll bring it to you live. Welcome back to Hope, Love, Pride. It's a CBS News Bay Area celebration. I'm Reed Cowan, joined by my lovely and magical best friend, Baby Shakes Monroe. Nice to have you here.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yes, okay. So the party's really about to get started here.
Ooh, can't wait.
But we've been having fun for the last half hour, right?
At least.
At least. And so our Kelsey Thorpe is joining us now over on the parade route. This is where we look this way to this fancy monitor. Kelsey, it's so good to talk to you. You feel the love and the hope and the pride building down there on Market Street, friend?
Oh, yeah, of course, Reed. You know, we are now just a few minutes away from the beginning of the parade. There are a lot more people, and the weather is actually really nice. There's not a lot of wind. The sun is coming in, so it's going to be a fun parade. And, you know, we've gotten the chance to talk to so many people just in the few hours that we've been here this morning, and we actually got to meet these gentlemen earlier. So you guys said you live nearby, and you've been coming to the parade for many years, correct?
Yeah, I've been coming for probably 13, 14 years now. And yeah, we live not too far away and we always come to Pride.
And what about you guys? I hear you're the OGs.
Since the early 90s.
Okay, yeah. So like that's going on what, 35?
5 years. Wow.
So I guess how is the pride or the parade? How has it kind of morphed over that time or changed, or what do you guys, what's been your experience?
It's more inclusive now. It's more of a city event rather than a neighborhood event. Like I think in the early days it was more of like a gay neighborhood event, where now the whole city comes out and celebrates Pride.
I know this year's theme is Queer Joy is Resistance. What does that mean to you guys?
I think given sort of the state of politics and everything, this year is really important for people, the community, to be out and say, we're all in this together, and we've got to get out there and be strong.
Is there anything you guys like the most in the parade? Is there like something or some organization or some part of the parade that's in it every year that you love to see?
I'm a big fan of the Dykes on Bikes. I think they're fantastic. I know them, and they're fantastic people, and they start the parade off great every year in the best way possible.
I know, it is like the best first. It is fun. And they're by far the loudest, I feel like, too. Yeah. Okay, before we go, we have to get the star. So can you introduce this guy to everybody?
Okay, this is Cooper, and this is his first Pride.
Aww.
And he's enjoying it.
I can tell.
Although I think the Dykes on Bikes are going to be loud for him.
Yeah, he might get a little nervous. It's okay, Cooper. You'll enjoy it just as much as the rest of us, I promise. Awesome. Well, thanks. Have fun, guys. Thanks. It was so fun. Reed, it's been really fun. We've met a lot of people that are here for the first time. We've met a lot of people that have been coming for decades, and everybody is just as excited, as always, for this parade to get underway. And I think, yes, Dykes on Bikes is everyone's favorite. So we're about to see them soon.
All right, we can't wait for that moment. But that dog, I thought the dog's name would be Toto. And in that spirit, Baby shakes his magic and knew how to dress. Let's check out the ruby red slippers that are in this beautiful studio right now. And San Francisco Bay Area, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Check out those kicks here. Did you stone those yourself?
I did, and my husband.
Oh my gosh. Fabulous. Pride in the family from head to toe. Trust us. So you're going to see members of SFPD in the parade today. Officers have been rocking these pride patches on their uniform this month. They are not ruby slippers, but they are a symbol of hope, love, and pride. SFPD was the first department in the nation to start that patch tradition. The Pride Patch Project actually raises money for the Officer John C. Cook Scholarship Fund, named after the first openly gay San Francisco police officer killed in the line of duty. The scholarship is awarded to LGBTQ plus high school seniors who have a family member in the police department. And so this is one of my favorite stories of our All Pride Month, introducing you to another law enforcement officer, this time from San Mateo County, wearing a pride patch, loud and proud, not just for his community, not just for his department, but in honor of his daughter, who inspired him to stand tall, to step off the curb, and to march. Len Ramirez has this heartwarming story.
We'll probably end up going somewhere. Well, what time's your meeting tonight?
7:30, but I also don't have to go.
What will you eat?
For as long as she could remember, Vanessa saw her father Carlos as a family pillar, a community protector as a deputy sheriff, and as her soccer and softball coach. But for years growing up, she carried a truth she never dared to share with her dad or her family. She was gay.
It wasn't just about telling my dad, it was about telling my entire family and risking, for me at that time, risking what I felt could be losing my family, or more than anything, disappointing them. Having a deputy as a father didn't, it didn't dawn on me that it would necessarily be the easiest to come out to tell them, so I waited for a really long time.
Vanessa says she knew from about the time she was in 3rd grade. It was a series of realizations that only grew stronger as she got older, but for years she kept it inside. That is until she met her partner, Mary Bell, and fell in love. Finally, at 21, she couldn't keep the secret any longer.
I remember when I did come out to my dad, and he very much told me that he loved me and that he supported me 100%. But one thing specifically rings a bell, and it's that he said that it wasn't going to be easy, that it was going to be difficult. Sorry. It was going to be a journey, and but that he supported me, that he loved me, and he cared about me.
I think I was glad that it was out in the open because I saw the struggles that she went through as a kid, and things started to make sense. But what I was scared was of the future and some of the things that she would have to go through along the way, along this journey. And to this day, you still see them, some of the things that she goes through, and some people are not as accepting. But I think as time goes on, I do see a change.
And now Carlos is a part of making that change. As the president of the San Mateo County Deputy Sheriff's Association, he's leading the effort to create rainbow patches that members can choose to wear on their uniforms during Pride Month. They're also sold to the public to raise funds for local LGBTQ services.
I think about Vanessa every time I'd wear it. It's a way of showing that, hey, I support her. And, the LGBTQ community, not only just her, but the deputies in the sheriff's office.
And Vanessa has followed in her father's footsteps, becoming a labor leader in her own right with the Teamsters Union in San Mateo County, raising her voice to support workers in the gay community while still navigating her own personal path.
I can't say it's been smooth sailing since then. I'm 30 years old now, but it's been a journey, and that's part of it. But it makes me who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. I'm a Latina, I'm queer, I'm a woman, and I couldn't be more proud of who I am.
And something else happened that Vanessa didn't expect. Her coming out didn't tear the family apart, it brought them closer.
Our relationship's definitely gotten stronger, the bond's there. It's weird because I'm the parent, but I'm learning more from her now. And she's teaching me things, whether it's in labor or whether it's in the community she belongs to. I'm learning every day from Vanessa, so it's great.
Today, they still play ball, but it's just for fun and part of a family tradition. And now, as an adult, Vanessa doesn't see the authoritative father figure or the badge anymore when she looks at her dad. She sees the man who loves and supports her, no matter what.
There's a whole lot of memories here at this park.
San Mateo.
Yeah, beautiful. I want to talk to parents who might be listening here, maybe with a raised eyebrow and don't understand. You don't have to understand to love and support, right? And so if you're a mom, a dad, aunt, uncle, family member, and it's something you just don't understand right now, you can love. That is the first step, and you teach us all about that. Family support can also be life-saving.
Absolutely. And family doesn't always have to be the people that you were born into, that family. You can make that. And I think that's the thing I love the most about our LGBTQIA community, is that it's not just a community, it's family.
Yeah. Well, to that end, we want to introduce you to a group of fathers who are showing up in a big way. They call themselves a Play Catch with Dad, and they are on a mission to be father figures to anybody who needs one. Maybe feels like your dad isn't supportive right now. Anybody in the LGBTQ plus community who has that feeling, that ache. Well, this group was recently invited to spread love and toss a few footballs under the lights of Chicago's Wrigley Field on Pride Night. John Pierre Mateo is the founder, and he says the concept is just simple. It's love.
So many people in this community didn't have the support or lost the support of a father when they were younger. I'm Dad.
Nice to meet you. When I first walked up and saw this, I was standing with my girlfriend and our friends, and I started crying because I was like, that's so cute. It's just really cute for people who need it.
I think it goes a long ways, When was the last time you had a hug from your dad?
We hold them tight and say, you're a great kid. And boy, everybody wants to hear that sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, we all just need to be seen and heard and loved, right?
That's it.
So for the dad out there who's watching this right now, who has a child who is representative of one of the colors in the flag, what do you say to that parent?
Love your child.
Period.
Period.
End of story. It's that simple. Maybe remember the day that child was born, that child placed in your arms. Get back to that energy. Let's go to the stories from drag queens who know about that love. And by the way, they don't need a stage to entertain. Our Itai Hodge shows you why they're deciding to pick up some roller skates instead.
On the edge of Oakland, right by the bay, something fabulous is afoot. Drag queens, those glittering stars of the late night stage, have rolled out of the dark and into the park. They've swapped the spotlight for the sunlight, the velvet rope for a view of the bay, and high heels for 4 wheels. The result? Rolling with the Homos, a monthly drag skate party right on the waterfront.
Welcome!
Today's ringleader of this rolling rainbow is a queen named Angel Food Cakes, which might explain why everyone here is eating it up.
I think it's a mixture of people love watching skaters. You know, they love seeing somebody doing something so kind of unusual, and it can be beautiful, but it can also be silly.
What began as a scrappy sidewalk performance quickly gained traction, turning into a highly popular monthly show.
Anybody want to throw in a $1 or $2?
Co-founder Nikki J says there was no script, just skates, rhinestones, and a whole lot of heart.
Most drag performers were out at the clubs, and it's late night, and it's, not all ages, and this is a way that we can connect with our community.
And it's all happening as the ACLU reports over 570 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced nationwide this year. More than 50 have already been signed into law, most targeting trans Americans. That mix of spectacle and sanctuary is what draws 16-year-old Cora McSkimming. She can't get into the clubs just yet, but here she can skate alongside the queens she admires.
I think it's about the community. It's a celebration of queer joy.
Speaking of joy, this is Joy Clinard, whose dad Drew says she's been attending since she was in diapers.
She loves drag queens. So we've been coming here since she was 2, and she thinks these are celebrity level, as good as it gets, drag queens.
Putting a different spin on skating and giving a whole new meaning to the phrase role model.
We forgot our roller skates today.
Yeah, well, actually,
yours are offset.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
Okay. We're gonna burn a hole in the CBS eye right here. Rolling with the Homos happens at Township Commons in Oakland every 4th Sunday of the month. It's free, and all you need is a pair of skates and a little bit of sass and a little bit of attitude. So up next, we're gonna take you for a drink inside a historic hotspot for the queer community that is really still holding strong. It's down in San Francisco's Tenderloin.
What's great about this bar is not only is it in the gayest city on earth, but it's also in one of the most interesting neighborhoods, I think.
Plus, for those who have been targeted for being themselves, the extra layer of safety and support being offered to them this year.
There's always been violence against trans people. I think it's so important to be able to know peaceful self-defense.
Let's go live down to the parade route right now. Hope, Love, Pride Sunday, everybody. You are looking down there towards the Embarcadero where we are about to see the beginning of Pride Parade. Dykes on Bikes about to roll to kick off what is going to be a beautiful Sunday in San Francisco. Burning the house down boots when we come back. Presence is power at the San Francisco Pride Parade. And check it out there. We are looking live at the parade route right there. What are we looking at, Baby Shanks?
We are looking at the dykes on bikes, honey.
Yes. Henny. That's right. That's a term coined from season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Just put me on the gay Jeopardy and I'm going to win all the categories. You are seeing right there dykes on bikes and all the rainbow flags starting it off. And by the way, that gorgeous statue right down at the Embarcadero Street, such a powerful image as well. If you're down there at the Embarcadero in our beautiful city, make sure to go down there and really see what that's all about. Happy Pride, everybody. And with this, that is how Pride starts, with our beautiful dykes on bikes down there on the parade route, revving the engines. You love this, right?
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
It kicks off all the energy. Here it is. Vroom, vroom.
Here we go. Vroom, vroom. Can you imagine all the time tuning up all of those bikes?
I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I bet you it gives all of them life.
All of them life.
Including
yes.
that U-Haul truck in the back.
That's right. That U-Haul truck, by the way, we've been able to confirm it is full of glitter.
Oh, wonderful. Even better.
It is full of glitter. You know, we're going to stay on this just a little bit longer and just let you all have that. Do we have the ability to turn up the audio and let us hear the roar of the engines down there on Market Street? We're going to turn that up just so that you can hear the vroom vroom, and we're not actually putting that in. Although we do serve up a pretty good vroom vroom.
Yeah, vroom vroom. I mean, vroom vroom.
That's right. And look at the flags down there. You see all the parade flags down there. You see flags representing from all communities all over the world down there. And it's just beautiful to see, beautiful to feel, baby.
Absolutely. I just love all the different flags. And I feel like every year there's a new colorway, a new way of expressing yourself. It's just like, go ahead. Mm-hmm. The full rainbow and then some.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And you know what? I love that the Dykes on Bikes start off the parade because it sends a message like, listen, people who are in this parade, they're my family. I've got them. And you just see the power of these motorcycles.
And they can go really fast.
That's right. They got your back and they've got your front, the front of the parade. That is down there. You know, for many, Pride celebrations include a raising of the glass with friends. But in San Francisco's Tenderloin, that's where the place really has become a huge side of history. You're talking about the cafeteria rights down there. The Tenderloin area is so important.
Oh my gosh, it was before the Castro. I mean, Polk Street was the Castro before the Castro. So there's a lot of story, a lot of history in that place.
Yep, that's right. And that's why, you know, safe spaces are so important and they continue to this very day. Our Mary Lee takes us inside Aunt Charlie's, the last remaining bar of its kind in that very important Bay Area neighborhood watch.
Joe Mathison has been working at Aunt Charlie's Lounge since 1997.
It's a people's bar. We have a very mixed clientele. It's neighborhood, it's gay, it's straight.
Joe showed me around, pointing out the bar's most loyal regulars.
This is Ola. She's one of our oldest customers. She's 80-some years old, and she comes in here quite often, sits in a corner for several hours. And she can't speak, but she can write you all the notes you want to hear. Then over here we have Charles, who lives in the Castro but doesn't frequent the Castro. He particularly likes coming down here. This is Charles.
Joe made his way along the bar, pointing out regulars like old friends.
He's another one of our regulars.
Regular what's not clear.
Michael has been coming here to Aunt Charlie's for years now.
Probably about 25 years. Long time. I count myself as lucky to have discovered this place.
Justin McCormick loves bartending for the two communities that are very special to him, the gay community and the Tenderloin, where Justin also lives.
For me, what's been great about living in San Francisco and about the Tenderloin specifically is just the variety of people that you overlap with. And what's great about this bar is not only is it in like the gayest city on earth, but it's also in one of the most interesting neighborhoods, I think.
Justin left a tech job to work at Aunt Charlie's. It's the connection with his customers here that makes this job so much more meaningful to Justin.
Everyone here knows each other for the most part. Again, working daytimes, I know probably 95% of the people that come in, and we don't even have to talk about what they want to drink. We can get right into the gossip and the, and the more interesting stuff. So it's great to have a close-knit kind of community like that within such a big city.
And Aunt Charlie's Lounge is more than just a bar. It's a second home for many. And at the heart of it all is Joe.
I'm 76 years old, so I don't want, this is my last job. This is John. He's one of our regular customers. He's a lawyer who loves to travel.
Greeting each person not just as a patron, but as a part of the family.
Very
cool. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I love Aunt
I love it. Okay, so Aunt Charlie's, you've been there a lot, you've performed there a lot.
Yes.
Talk to me about not only Aunt Charlie's, but the importance of safe spaces for the LGBTQ plus community.
I cannot even begin to start. I know I live in a bubble, San Francisco, but everywhere else, you kind of seek them out. Where's my safe space? You look for that kind of continuity if you're traveling or things to that effect. So it's very, very, very important.
It is, and the thing I love about whether it's a gay bar or a community center that welcomes, the kids, I always say the kids who need that advocacy and that safe space, those are the physical manifestations of the principle of a safe space, but they remind us all that we can create safe spaces in our conversations that we have with our friends, in honoring the pronouns that are communicated to us. We can create that moment of safety for somebody who needs that. And we all deserve to feel safe in our own skin. And here in the Bay Area, that sense of safety is super, super important right now. Producer, where are we going, friend? We're a little stuck here. Can you tell me where we're going? That sense of safety is so important. It's being supported in a powerful way. Local organizations are offering self-defense classes designed specifically for trans and queer communities. It is all about empowerment and protection and taking up space with confidence. Here's our Kara Saints here with that story.
Okay. Wait, can you do it one more time? Sorry.
Cal Lurchie is arming up and ready to fight back.
Okay, so 1, 2, and then push away.
Against an environment they say has become unsafe for people that are transgender.
There's always been violence against trans people. I think it's so important to be able to know peaceful self-defense. I'm not going to be out here punching people in the face, but I still want to be able to safely de-escalate someone in case of a crisis situation.
Eyes open.
Slurs and name-calling are just the tip of the iceberg. Cal says they've been chased with knives and had glass objects thrown at them, just walking on the street. Moments where they felt defenseless.
This is why we train.
But not anymore. San Francisco's LGBTQ Center set up self-defense classes so people like Cal can defend themselves.
There's a real dire need for not only our community to feel safe, but within the queer community, trans folks are most being attacked during this time period. And within the loss of trans lives as a result of violence, we don't just want to empower trans people, we want to empower all of our community to feel safe.
A report from the California Justice Department shows that hate crimes dropped overall from 2022 to 2023, but crimes against LGBTQ members rose about 86%.
We need to empower a community to feel safe in our own spaces, but also to feel affirmed in their existence.
Do you want me to do like the 5 in the row and then we'll switch? Okay.
This experience left Cal with a sense of strength, only reinforced by the community around them.
Being in a room full of other people who also want to learn and want to know how to defend themselves in case of some sort of violence that may come up, that feels comforting in a way in spite of the scary things.
They feel ready for a battle they'll hopefully never have to fight.
Being ready so you never have to fight, but that's just another safe space where people get that sense of empowerment through what they learn.
Absolutely. It's just wonderful.
It's just wonderful. And you know what? That's why you and I like to do yoga as well.
Of course.
Mountain pose,
Mountain
right?
pose.
Giving you that power position, that power pose. You're going to do any yoga today on Pride Sunday?
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing some downward dogs into my bed.
Okay.
Right into my bed.
Yes,
Going to
Ujjayi breathing. Okay, so we continue to watch the parade down there, but also we are raising every voice, lift every voice. Right up next, we're talking about this. Federal funding pulled for a San Francisco gay men's chorus, the gay men's chorus. And they say, pull the dollars, we're gonna sing even louder. A message that will not be silenced.
To show the world, show our community what love and joy looks like on stage.
And a form of activism on the catwalk, a local doctor taking to the runway. Bring it to the runway.
Runway.
I mean, you gotta know that. Bring it to the runway. But his mission goes far beyond fashion. And we reflect on a landmark ruling 10 years ago that changed the lives of so many couples around the country. We'll also check back in with beautiful Kelsey Thord, who is live on the parade route on this Hope, Love, Pride Sunday. You're our family. You're our community. You stay right here. We're keeping the porch light on for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan. We are celebrating with you in this community event, San Francisco's Pride Parade. We're telling your stories because, hey, as we say here on your community station all the time, our stories define us. Here's what's ahead in this next hour.
That's you.
That is absolutely me. I was part of that history. I know what my trans brothers and sisters did, and I'm going to continue telling that story.
It's clear that they are trying to silence LGBTQ voices or trying to silence our stories.
The thing that I've always found a lot of solace and a lot of hope in is when you look around at all of your allies, whether they are queer people or straight people, anybody from a marginalized community that has had any sort of injustice thrust upon them, I always know that those people are the ones that band together eventually to pull our communities and our culture forward.
This feels like this could be kind of big.
We just got this brilliant moment to all meet up somewhere where we all belong.
It's amazing. I remember the early women's professional leagues where they tried really hard to say, hey, we're straight, we're straight. They were so afraid of the queer audience, and now they're just opening their hearts and doors.
This is great. Hope, Love, and Pride on full display in downtown San Francisco today. These are live pictures down there on Market Street. We have cameras fired up in the sky and on the ground showing you this. A community coming together to support each other, where whether you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community or an ally, you are welcome here, you are loved, and that's the Pride Parade. It is in full swing. And also in full swing is Baby Shakes Monroe back here with me for the second hour of our celebration. What is the theme for this year's Pride Parade?
Queer joy is resistance.
And Pride started as a protest, did it not?
It really did.
Okay.
And every parade after that is a memory of it.
All right. Well, we want to actually take you to a moment down there on the route. It all began on Beelan Market. It ends on 9th Street. Look at this map here. Come on.
Whoa, whoa.
Come on, people. You're standing on 9th Street now. Now you're moving down the parade route, baby. More than 250 fierce. Look at this. Nobody shows up a parade route like my drag queen friends. Fierce, fabulous, all getting ready to slay the house down boots, lighting up the streets. But the party does not stop there. There is a celebration down at Civic Center?
Absolutely.
What goes on down there at Civic Center for the people who might want to come down and check it out?
Well, there's tons of booths out there with all kinds of different queer businesses and ally businesses, so people can learn about what's going on in the community, where they can lean in and support. But there's also music and drag shows, and it's just amazing.
Lots of support down there and conversations, right? Kelsey Thord is right there on the parade route where all of the joy is happening. Kelsey, the conversations down there, they are uplifting, are they not?
Oh, of course they are. Yeah, everybody here is happy, excited, full of joy, just like the theme of this year. And you guys actually, great timing, because this is just the very beginning of the parade coming through. So we saw the Dykes on Bikes go through earlier, and now we're actually seeing the different members of the parade come through. So they had the sign up there with the theme of this year, which is Queer Joy is Resistance. And then, of course, we're going to start to see all the different organizations, companies, everybody that's been involved in the parade come through here. But as you were saying earlier, Reed, we've had the chance to meet a ton of people out here. So many people who have been coming for the first time, who have been coming for decades. But, you know, one thing about a Pride Parade, Guy, is that when you see people wearing wigs, you have to then go interview them. So these ladies are here. Now, I know some of you said you're from Mountain View, the other one's from Los Angeles. You got the wigs. What was the choice for the wigs? Did you guys just think it'd be fun to wear? You know, you wanted to have some color, pop of color. What was the idea behind the wigs?
We were just going shopping and we came across these and we thought they'd be really cool for Pride.
I agree. So I know the parade just started, but how are you liking it so far?
It's amazing, and it's amazing to see how people embrace themselves and who they love.
I love your lashes too. Those are beautiful.
Very like extension lashes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it looks good. So I know it's your guys' first time, right? Okay, so you guys are the ones from LA. How fun is it to come up here and see this parade in San Francisco?
It's amazing because we've never been to one before and we've always wanted to go, so it's been amazing. Yeah.
What about you, as the one that kind of brought everyone up here? How fun is it for you to see how much fun they're having?
Oh, so great. We've been wanting to come to a parade for a while, so it finally worked out. We got to see our dear friends who live here, so it's so fantastic to get to see all the joy.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it's just the beginning of the parade, so you guys are going to have a ton of fun. I see, they're already getting souvenirs, guys, so that's also the fun part of the parade. You know, there's stickers, there's flags they're handing out, of course, like candy and stuff, so these guys are going to have a lot of fun. And, you know, we've been talking, Reed, all morning about how that this is such a family event. Family, you know, comes out here. So it's fun to see families from all over, not just here in San Francisco, but down south in LA and from other states coming out to enjoy the parade.
Yeah, sometimes you have to cross the map, right, to send that message of support and love. And again, Kelsey, we're mindful that communities, maybe rural communities all over the United States or elsewhere, are watching us right now and looking for cues on how to have family, right, Baby Shakes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a better way to represent like this.
Yep. And there is a song that says, "This is my hair. I don't wear wigs."
Absolutely. I don't know what you're talking about. It's definitely my hair.
You know what? We are wanting to strike all the right notes so that you feel the love today in this beautiful, wonderful parade. And part of the parade is the legendary San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. I think of Gerald Pearson, one of the founding members of the international tour of the Gay Men's Chorus, who did not make it to this day. The late husband to my friend Carolyn Pearson died from the AIDS epidemic. But the music went on, right? And it continues today. It's a fabulously talented group with more than 300 singers, but like many other organizations, it recently lost tens of thousands of dollars in federal grants. So a conversation to be had here. Our Max Darrow has this story.
Good luck, baby, good luck.
Finding his place among this ensemble of voices nearly 10 years ago,
You make a new excuse.
was instrumental in Tom Paulino's journey to find his voice as a gay man.
It's nuanced my understanding of what it meant to be a queer person and how we all come to be who we are and find ourselves here in San Francisco.
He is a member of the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. The group has been around since 1978, singing, teaching, and reaching out into Bay Area communities on a mission to promote acceptance, awareness, and inclusivity. But in 2025, his group and its mission has run into a roadblock.
Any time that the pendulum swings towards progress, we always know that there is often a backlash to that, and we're currently living in an enduring period of backlash.
The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus is one of many organizations that just found out the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, decided to terminate a previously awarded federal grant. The rationale, according to the email that Chorus CEO Chris Verdugo received,
the NEA is updating its grant-making policy priorities to focus funding on projects that reflect the nation's rich artistic heritage and creativity as prioritized by the president. That isn't surprising knowing what we know, but it is devastating, to be honest. It's clear that they are trying to silence LGBTQ voices or trying to silence our stories.
Verdugo says they were expecting around $75,000 to help fund the Rhythm education program.
Rhythm, Reaching Youth Through Music, is a program about empowering not just queer youth, but their allies to be their authentic selves, to be the best selves that they can for themselves and their school systems.
Though the times may be changing, Paulino's resolve is holding strong.
The thing that I've always found a lot of solace and a lot of hope in is when you look around at all of your allies, whether they are queer people or straight people or people of color or women, anybody from a marginalized community that has had any sort of injustice thrust upon them by society or by somebody in power. I always know that those people are the ones that band together eventually to pull our communities and our culture forward.
His eyes are set on upcoming concerts
to show the world, show our community what love and joy looks like on stage.
Continuing to reach communities, one note at a time.
What love and joy looks like on stage. I had a chance to see their Christmas special, the last one before the Castro Theater closed up for renovations. It was so fun.
Oh, I can't wait for the Castro Theater to open up.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's time for that.
Have you been to any other gay men's chorus in like LA or Las Vegas?
I have. I've seen so many different manifestations of the national outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you see, and it's really cross-generational, you see the young singers and you see the singers who are my age or older. It's beautiful to see the generations come together as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I don't know. Music brings us together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, love. Let's just keep going back to love.
Yep, that's right. Love is the right note, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this past Thursday, we marked 10 years since a landmark ruling when the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage. That is the reporters running off of the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court to break the news to the world. This is video from those moments on that day. And they are running out to share the news, and you see the people cheering there. A lot of people hugging and waving flags. It was a truly historic moment. In San Francisco, we saw people celebrating right outside of City Hall. Same-sex marriage had already been legal in California for 2 years. At that point, then that right was removed, and that sparked the fight that took it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. The fight for marriage equality in these United States had the epicenter right here in San Francisco. And Baby Shakes, I just have to say congratulations to you and your husband.
Oh yeah, we're celebrating 10 years.
10
wedding.
years. 10 years.
20 together.
Wow, 20 together.
What about you?
Yeah, so my Gregory and I grew up in the same little town of Roosevelt, Utah. And same thing, legalized same-sex marriage. We went with our 3 children for that beautiful day.
Oh my God, I can't.
And we just learned that we have a similarity here. Greg and I raised in the same little teeny tiny town, delivered by the same little teeny tiny town, Dr. Buxton, and you.
Yeah, my husband and I were delivered by the same doctor, the same hospital, 3 months apart.
See,
in Antioch.
In Antioch.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Shout out to the doctors who delivered us. Little did you know, we would come snapping right out of that womb, ready to have a fabulous life.
I think they had an idea when I came out.
And happy anniversary to our spouses, right?
Yes.
You know, queer icons stomping the runway and the looks for a good cause. Look at this. Threads of Pride turned out in San Francisco. This was Wednesday night, a fabulous fusion of fashion and philanthropy, spotlighting LGBTQ plus nonprofits that really go out there and make a difference, especially in these times when we're starting to see some of those federal dollars erode. And among those who walked in the show, a local doctor who is a refugee from the Middle East. Veronica Macias shares how he created that show to uplift organizations who are fighting for those who are often left out of the spotlight or the runway, as it were.
Dr. Nas Muhammad is a primary care physician, and he's proudly, openly queer.
How has it been?
Good. I mean, the Aptitude is actually much preferred for me.
At Astra Medical, he offers health care tailored specifically to the LGBTQ plus community. His teal blue blazer is sharp with his scarf tucked inside, adding a vibrant pop of color. But for Dr. Nass, fashion is more than just flair. It's about building bridges, shedding light on basic human rights for his community. The runway is a form of activism. Each design and couture is attention-grabbing. Bold and beautiful looks capturing your eye.
In a lot of places around the world, unfortunately, the wrong stories are being told about who an LGBT person is. So for a lot of people, they think it's a crime. They think there are people that are out there to groom your children, to spread disease, to commit crimes. They haven't seen examples or heard stories of LGBT individuals that are, successful.
Walking are people who are far from being any type of criminals. They are people fighting for the right to seek asylum and issues like gender-affirming medical care.
So, I can speak to my own personal experience. When I went into my primary care physician when I was younger, I had gotten my first STI. And his response was, it almost felt like I was being quarantined in the room. Just his response was not compassionate.
He comes from the Middle East, where in Qatar, he could not live true to himself. The language of fashion is something people from all walks of life can relate to. So during Pride, he's telling everyone, walk with us, because love is not a crime.
Walk with us. I love the expression of fashion in the LGBTQ plus community. I want to say we invented it.
I think we did.
And you are in the textile industry.
That's right.
So you're able to weave in your message through fashion.
Oh yeah, surprise everyone, I'm also a textile engineer.
Awesome. How do you engineer textile? Obviously, you've engineered this.
I didn't do this one. It's just an incredible journey. It's like a puzzle of yarn and fibers, and it's just incredible. But that's my day job.
I think the ballroom culture in the community, ballroom culture is so important. Last year we talked about a ballroom group up in Oakland.
Yes.
Where what you wear can actually help you to stand a little taller, elevate you, bring out the flourishes in your own individuality.
Yeah, a famous drag queen who will not be named says we're all born naked and the rest is drag. And it's true. It's like our armor, it's our expression, it's who we are. So it can be performance or day.
That sounds a lot like one RuPaul.
I don't know who you're talking about.
RuPaul Charles, a member of the Drag Race family and the Paramount family, part of CBS News. RuPaul.
That's right.
Give a call. I need to see baby shakes on Drag Race. Oh,
yeah, you know where to find me.
Up next, history erased from Stonewall to Harvey Milk, the troubling changes targeting some of the roots of the LGBTQ plus movement.
I was part of that history. I know what my trans brothers and sisters did, and I'm going to continue telling that story with or without a government webpage which erases that T.
And guess what? We are your home for the Valkyries here at your community station, and we're so proud of it. The Valkyries have grown a huge following as the WNBA's newest team, how they're making space for queer women in their amazing, powerful fan base.
We just got this brilliant moment to all meet up somewhere where we all belong and we can all fit.
And back down on the parade route right now, elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, wrist. You give us a wave down there. Hey, and if you have a family member or a friend down there on the parade route, maybe give us a shout out on social media, hashtag KPIX, hashtag Hope, Love, Pride. You might just see your response right where we are. Taking you live right there to the beautiful Pride Parade happening in San Francisco, right down there on the parade route. And look at that, baby shakes. We got bubbles in the air.
It's my favorite part, honestly.
Yes, and you know what? Those bubbles are magic. Kristen Chenoweth is in every one of those, as is Ariana Grande. Can you see her right there?
Oh, yeah, there she
Wicked.
is.
She's about to land right there on the parade route.
Yes.
Defying a little bit of gravity. We hope that if there's heaviness in your heart for any reason, that you will defy gravity with us and those beautiful bubbles and know that you are a part of hope, love, and pride on this Pride Sunday. And you know what? It's not only right here in San Francisco. We're going to give you a look right now at some of the other celebrations from around the country this month. In Philadelphia, a huge show of pride with that flag outside of their city hall. And in Southern California, WeHo!
WeHo Pride!
Yeah, had an epic weekend of parties earlier this month. First, a night of dancing, then the WeHo Pride Parade making its way through the Rainbow District. And as we celebrate, it's important to remember the origins of Pride Month. I always like to talk about the why. If we don't remember the why, we don't really have the passion behind why we show up, right?
Yeah.
So the end of June marks the 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York, which ultimately led to the gay rights movement. But let's not forget also what happened here in San Francisco before that, the cafeteria riots. But we talk about this one, that period, and the history there is at threat of being erased. My buddy, CBS News' Tom Hansen, talked to a man who was there about what's at stake today.
That's you.
That is absolutely me.
Mark Siegel was there when police raided the club. Protesters resisted. It was a major milestone in the LGBT movement.
We were a unified force, and that meant supporting our trans brothers and sisters.
That history is preserved both here at the Inn and a few steps away at the Stonewall National Monument, commemorating the birth of what ultimately became LGBTQ+. But on its website, the National Park Service, without explanation, removed the entire back part, including T for transgender.
I was part of that history. I know what my trans brothers and sisters did, and I'm going to continue telling that story with or without a government webpage which erases that T.
What disturbs me is that I don't know that we're done yet, seeing this effort to scrub and rewrite American history.
Alan Spears is the resident historian with the National Parks Conservation Association.
What's your biggest fear? Seeing what we're seeing today.
These things always start slowly. We're going to remove a photograph from a website. We're going to scrub some language. It doesn't make a great deal of sense to talk about the American Civil War and not talk about the issues of race and slavery.
CBS News' Tom Hansen there. Let's not forget the bombshell news that dropped at the beginning of the month. The U.S. Navy planning to rename the USS Harvey Milk, named after the Bay Area's late civil rights icon, Harvey Milk. Our Juliet Goodrich got a tour of that ship last year when it made a stop in the Bay Area before its maiden voyage with Harvey's name on it. And you know, throughout the interior, there are pictures of Harvey Milk, including his time and his service in the Navy. And Juliet also heard from his nephew, Stuart Milk, back then about what the moment meant.
What is that like for you personally as we're in the bridge of the ship, looking out, and the symbolism and where we've come so far?
It is astonishing in some ways to think that that we have come this far, but it's a reminder that it's a continual work in progress because we have made so many steps forward. But for instance, on women's rights, we're moving backwards. And so Thomas Jefferson famously asked, when does the battle for equality and justice end? He said it doesn't. It requires constant vigilance, and I think that this ship is a reminder. It's going to go to ports where LGBTQ people are illegal, and this ship is going to teach about who Harvey was.
Well, that was then, but this is now, and now it will port without his name. After the announcement, the Harvey Milk Foundation told us the name change is a big step backwards, but that the fight, it's not over.
It's truly sad, and it's a sad day for America. But Harvey and his reputation have been through much worse and will persevere. Harvey's message has always been one of hope. He was always optimistic, but he also said we always need to be vigilant, and there will be backward steps.
You know, I had an opportunity also to talk to Cleve Jones, who is a Bay Area civil rights icon, marched with Harvey, started the AIDS memorial quilt, and he said, look, this is disappointing, but he pointed us to hope. to remembering that there might be those setbacks, but to maintain hope and to march forward one step at a time. And that really is what Harvey Milk was all about, giving people hope. He was the first openly gay person in the United States to be elected to office. He was a San Francisco supervisor. He fought for all marginalized people to be treated equally, and he fought for all of us to be able to be our authentic selves without fear or discrimination. And also, as history teaches us, he lost his life in the midst of that struggle, shot dead at San Francisco City Hall, as we all learned from the movie Milk. But I know that Harvey Milk would say to us, you've got to give people hope. Hope will never be silent.
Hope will never be silent. And, you know, another trailblazer, Jose Julio Sarria, another person who ran for office here in San Francisco. You know, one thing they say, and it always hits me in the heart, which is divided, they'll catch us one by one, which is why we need to stand together.
Divided, they catch us one by one, which is why we have to stand together. Yeah, and hope is what brings us together. That is the unifying thread, right? Harvey's work had that main thread, hope. In fact, he said often, you have to give them hope. So, you know, every year on this broadcast, we are mindful not only of those of you who are celebrating down here on the parade route, right? But also LGBTQ plus kids in rural places like where I'm from, Roosevelt, Utah, or Marshall, Texas, or any number of other rural places where LGBTQ plus activism and developmental dollars maybe not have been reached. The epicenter is not there. Being gay in some places in the country is a liability to jobs and to safety. So today, for those of you who are maybe watching from those rural places, allies from rural America, including my friends Judy and Dennis Shepard, parents to Matthew Shepard, who lost his life to bigotry and violence in rural America, here they are, their voices reading Harvey Milk's words, reminding all of us, you've got to give them hope.
Absolutely.
We are Judy and Dennis Shepard, the parents of Matthew Shepard, who was killed in rural America because he was gay.
The Harvey Milk Hope speech is so important to rural kids.
In rural areas, progress like you enjoy in San Francisco is not available to everyone.
Kids in rural areas look to the Bay Area for hope.
And we've got to give them hope.
My name is Harvey Milk, and I'm here to recruit you.
Why are we here? Why are gay people here?
Unless you have dialogue, unless you open the walls of dialogue,
you can never reach to change people's opinion.
Once you have dialogue starting,
you know you can break down prejudice.
In 1977, we saw dialogue start. In 1977, we saw a gay person elected in San Francisco.
The anger and the frustration that some of us feel is because we are misunderstood.
And friends can't feel that anger and frustration.
They can sense it in us, but they can't feel it because a friend has never gone through what is known as coming out.
I will never forget what it was like coming out and having nobody to look up toward.
I remember the lack of hope. I can't forget the looks on faces of people who have lost hope.
The only thing they have to look forward to is hope.
And you have to give them hope.
Hope for a better world.
Hope for a better tomorrow.
Hope that all will be all right.
Without hope, not only are the gays, but the blacks, the seniors, the handicapped, the us's
will give up.
And you.
And you.
And you.
You have to give people hope.
Welcome back to Hope, Love, and Pride. You're watching the live stream of our Pride Parade.
Yes, it's lovely to have you with us on this Pride Sunday. I'm Reed Cowan, joined by Baby Shakes Monroe, who's shaking it up right now in studio. So if you are watching from home right now, you're seeing us, but if you're down on the parade route, this is what you are seeing. Happy Pride Sunday, everybody. The celebration in San Francisco is now rolling down the road, and our Kelsey Thornton is live along the parade route down on Market Street. You hear that?
Who is it?
They're
it Cheer?
Screaming for you, Baby Shakes.
I want it to be Cheer Us Up.
Kelsey, a lot of celebration out there, friend.
Oh yeah, well, you guys were talking about Cheer Us Up. They actually just went by. I got to see Heather. We were not on air though, so we couldn't do the same interaction that we had last year, but that's okay. Now we have the Scouts for America going by, so we are kind of in the thick of the parade, right? Oh my goodness, thank you! Look at that, I got it. Oh, he's a, what is it, a Cub Scout? I'm like, what are they called? I can't even remember. My brother was one of those though, and I always wanted to join. That was before girls were allowed to join, so good for those guys being in the parade. But I wanted to know, guys, one of the big things about the parade, especially, queer joy, we're talking a lot about that this morning, is people dressing up in fun costumes. So I thought we would do a bit of a speed round and talk to some people in some fun costumes here. So, how are you doing? I like the boa.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing great. I'm here with my niece and her friends, and it's our annual tradition.
So you come every year?
We try to. We missed a few.
Now, do you do a different outfit every year, or are you just going for the sparkles?
I think the boa's every year, but then I've got new things as the years go.
And you guys didn't want to dress up as much, or what's going on over here?
We take what we can get.
You're having fun so far, though?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Cool. Awesome. We'll keep having fun, guys. Thanks. Reed, we've been following so many people, talking to a lot of people. There's this one guy I have seen since before the parade started, so I wanted to talk to you. I just want to say I love your hat.
Thank you.
Now, do you wear this hat every year?
Every year.
Okay. How long have you had the hat?
Well, I've been assisting to the gay parade for over 30 years, and I love it. So,
okay. So what do you like about coming to the parade for that long every year?
We fight for our freedom and our rights. We are having hard times, and we need to continue fighting for what we are taking for granted as liberty and our rights.
What does it mean to you, to be able to come out here and fight for your rights, but also just show your joy and celebrate, with the community?
Well, what it gives me hope, I'm really happy to see so many young people that are the new generation that need to fight for our freedom, to maintain and continue that freedom that it's so hard to accomplish and to get, and now that we are here, we must maintain. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Yeah. But, guys, it's been a lot of fun. You have the bi flag. We've seen a lot of flags. So you have, of course, the rainbow flag that everybody knows. You have bi flag, you have the lesbian flag, you have the trans flag. So we've seen a lot of that. How are you guys doing? I like the rainbow.
We're here all the way from Indiana, loving every bit of it.
Oh my goodness, where in Indiana are you guys from?
Fishers, Indiana, near Indianapolis.
So did you come to San Francisco just for the parade?
We did. Yeah, big fan.
Is this your first time or have you been before?
First time here.
Wow, what do you think so far?
We love every second of it. It's great. Community full of love. Can't get better than that.
Are you hoping to come back again maybe next year? Make this an annual thing?
That would be awesome.
That's so cool. Have you made any friends around here or met anybody else from different states?
Yeah. Seems like people are here from all over. It is a place to be for sure.
And you actually got us on a good weather day here in San Francisco, so it's probably hot back in Indiana. Yeah. Well, there you go, Reed. We've been talking about meeting people from all over, not just here in California. That was a family from Indiana. We, of course, have people who have been here forever. And we got all the dancers, That's the fun thing about Pride, is that there's always some entertainment throughout this parade. It's a lot of fun to just talk to everybody.
It so is, and I love all of the bling out there. And Baby Shakes is here, Kelsey, because look at this. Do you see the earring? Can you see it? Can you see it? You know how they say on YouTube? This looks very much like a Valkyrie's earring that you are wearing.
Oh yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah, on purpose. Kelsey, you've spent a lot of time with the amazing Valkyries this season. I love your coverage. I have loved it, and I know I will for the weeks and months ahead. They have a big following in the queer community.
Oh yeah, Reed, it's been probably the joy of my career to cover women's basketball. I myself have been a women's basketball fan since I was little. I went to the WNBA in the early 2000s, so so many people here in the Bay. I was so excited when the Valkyries were announced. And you know, there's a long history of LGBTQ people being fans, specifically of women's sports. And we have seen that just through these first few weeks of the Valkyries season. And I actually got the chance to speak with a group of queer women that are trying to bring more LGBTQ fans to the Valkyries.
For many LGBTQ people, specifically queer women, going to a Valkyries game is an experience unlike much else.
You know, the representation to see ourselves being able to come out and be a part of the community with just ease and joy.
Queer women have long made up a significant portion of the WNBA fan base. Recent studies show upwards of a quarter of all WNBA fans identify as lesbians.
It's not surprising at all. We just got this brilliant moment to all meet up somewhere where we all belong and we can all fit, you know, and come together and celebrate.
Audacious Wilson and Valerie Trout are two Valkyries super fans doing what they can to connect the LGBTQ fan base.
You know, kind of a meetup so that people can come out, enjoy the games, the away games especially.
And they're not alone. Since the Valkyries season started, several LGBTQ fan groups have popped up, including the Valqueeries, headed up by Megan Doherty Baker.
It just feels like this could be kind of big in terms of how many numbers we've got and the diversity that the group can have and what it can look like and all the different ways that we can engage and connect with each other. It kind of feels like sky's the limit right now.
The Valqueeries have already hosted several events and are planning more and more every week. As someone who's been a basketball fan for decades, Lucy Bledsoe told me it's wonderful to see both the connections fans are making with each other and the support the WNBA is giving to their LGBTQ fan base.
It's amazing. I remember the early women's professional leagues where they tried really hard to say, hey, we're straight, we're straight. I literally saw, I think it's the Pioneers did a game where at halftime they did a heterosexual marriage. You know, they were so afraid of the queer audience, and now they're just opening their hearts and doors.
Every WNBA team is hosting a Pride Night this season, including the Valkyries. It's something fans love to see and hope will help to create lasting connections long after the season ends.
It's unreal, it's unbelievable that this arena, this platform is giving us this space to build so much more community.
And you know, guys, today is a very big day for LGBTQ Valkyries fans because I've actually seen a lot of them here at the parade, but then there is a Valkyries game later on tonight. They are continuing their Pride weekend. I know from a good source that they're going to be handing out some posters to all of the fans. So it's going to be a fun, long day for all of the LGBTQ Valkyries fans, myself included. I also am going to the game later today.
I love that, Kelsey, and all of the excitement down there on the parade route can just go right into the basketball stadium and cheer for our beautiful Golden State Valkyries. And you know, here on set we have, I just wanted to show you these earrings that are they are supercharged, right? They're superpower earrings.
Absolutely.
Yes, they are in tribute to the Valkyries today, so we'll take it, right? And you know, the Valkyries are actually playing tonight, as Kelsey said, so Kelsey will be out there too. They are taking on the who? The Seattle Storm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna clear out the Storm today on Pride Sunday. You can get to the game right here on Pix Plus. Coverage starts at 5 o'clock on Sunday. Go Valkyries! Oh, your fabulosity. There's also been a lot of focus on high school sports recently for other reasons. You know, this week the federal government said that California violated Title IX by allowing transgender girls to compete on teams that are consistent with their gender identity. Title IX is, of course, a federal law that bans sex discrimination in education. So the Department of Education gave the state until next weekend to change the rules or they will lose federal funding. We're seeing that as a kind of a theme here, the pulling of federal dollars. So this announcement comes after A.B. Hernandez made national headlines for participating in the girls' state track and field championship. Hernandez is a 16-year-old transgender student from Riverside County. She ended up getting crowned as the state champion in the triple jump and high jump, finished second in the long jump despite adults protesting her over her participation.
Is that even registering as you're competing?
Honestly, no. Nothing I can do about people's actions, just focus on my own.
So due to President Trump's previous threats, the California Interscholastic Federation gave out duplicate medals to the girls who finished just behind AB, and that placed an ally alongside AB on the podium there. Steve Large has that story.
I'm feeling so much relief.
River City High School senior Brooke White is back home with this silver medal proof of her state finals performance.
So this one's my 100-meter hurdles medal.
Brooke White is running amazing.
She won silver medals in the girls' 100-meter hurdles and in the girls' long jump. A place she shared on the medal podium with trans athlete A.B. Hernandez. This photo captured the pair smiling wide for the cameras.
How would you describe that feeling of not only you winning this medal, but also sharing it with A.B. Hernandez?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that she did was hug me, and I hugged her back.
White says the scrutiny surrounding the state finals, with protests over the politics of trans athletes in female sports, and with President Trump singling out the event, added pressure to all the athletes.
It made me really emotional, seeing how people could be so hateful to a 16-year-old girl.
White says Hernandez's performance inspired her.
It also eased me a lot to talk to A.B. personally and see how she was handling the situation as a rock star. Like, just, you know, she PR'd, and I'm pretty sure all 3 events.
This high school track athlete celebrating success at the state finals. She ended up in the focus of a fierce political fight and found her voice.
Overall, I just want to help foster peace and community and acceptance.
You know, she could have been bitter, she could have been angry, she could have joined the crowds who were yelling things like, "That's a boy out there," but instead she chose to be on that side of the conversation. And that is the special thing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you really ask the athletes, they don't care. It's really the small few amount of people. There's so much energy on it. It's like, wow, just let people be who their authentic self is. I don't get it.
Authentic self, and also I think authentic winning. What is an authentic win? Like, do I win if I get something and somebody else doesn't get something? Or do I win if I share the podium with someone? That to me is an authentic win. I mean, we have an opportunity to teach authentic winning to people right now.
Yeah, you hear it all the time where it's like, I'm not winning unless we're all winning. The true idea of team sports.
Boop. Bury that. Bloop. Bury that. So hope heals, and sometimes hope is on wheels, in heels. Our Cara St. Cyr has the story of Abby Smith flying the flag for our transgender community. And here's that story.
I try to do this every day as possible, just to let the tourist people around us know that we're here.
On any given day, you might see Abby Smith skateboarding through the city.
Oh, I go all the way up to Castro and back down to Jefferson and skate around the Golden Gate.
Wielding a trans flag high above her head.
It's inspiring, it's encouraging to, other like-minded people.
She's covered 20 to 30 miles daily since February, making it her mission to show everyone this display of pride. While the statement she's making is overwhelmingly a positive one, it was born out of what she says is necessity.
A lot of the trans have to run in fear, and they're just mispronounced and just mistreated, not eligible for hire and stuff like that. And it's just really tough.
Overall hate crimes in California are down, but a study from the state Justice Department showed that crimes against LGBTQ members rose 86% from 2022 to 2023, a trend happening nationwide. The GLAAD Alert Desk reported 932 anti-LGBTQ crimes. In just the last year, trans people were found to be disproportionately affected. Abby's decided this isn't the time to shrink. People have taken notice.
Thank you.
I mean, I've definitely seen her. I saw her the other day. She is definitely very fierce and very powerful.
Honey Mahogany, a director of the San Francisco Trans Initiative, is among those inspired by Abby's message.
For me, it made me really happy seeing her with her big trans flag, riding her skateboard, and just spreading that joy. I mean, it was a joyful moment for me. I'm sure it was a joyful moment for many people when they see her walk by.
Abby's rides are confined to San Francisco for now.
Happy Pride. I want to be able to see this keep going for the community at least to have something.
Just to spread that positivity and maybe just a little bit of pride.
My goodness. And why does that make me just admire even more just from the fact that they can stay up?
I mean...
and upright and not fall.
All the hills in San Francisco, like
Right.
a journey in itself.
All the hills, right? So up next, we head to an Oakland yoga studio, stretching the norms and creating safe space for those who don't really fall into a specific gender identity.
If we focus on our members of a community who need the most help, everyone else will benefit.
I know that I can be me here.
A San Francisco bookstore turning the page on a renowned and controversial author. Now their efforts are catching on.
Oh, the world loves a stage and a parade. I love a parade, and Baby Shakes is with me here right now. And what are we seeing down there on the parade route, friend?
A fire engine and something incredible. People
Yes.
smiling.
And you know a lot of these people who are down there on the parade route.
I do know a lot of them, not all of them, but I know a lot of the, especially the local nonprofits that are supporting our community. I recognize them immediately.
Yep, and they are down there. And what I love, and we've talked about this throughout the broadcast, that there are people from all over the United States watching this parade and also watching remotely from all over the United States, online and elsewhere, looking to us for a little hope, a little love, a little pride. We know that this does not exist in every community in the country, so because we see it here, we know that maybe someday we can see it elsewhere. Look at the hearts on that Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody cut out every one of those.
Look at that gold costume.
I love it. We are golden for you, everybody. You know, LGBTQ plus people need advocates, people who will stand for them. And sometimes advocacy means making bold moves. So Andrea Nakano shows you how and why two bookstores chose to pull the wildly popular Harry Potter book series off of their shelves in an act of standing up for the trans community.
So I write children's books myself. One and that one.
Marcus Ewart with Fabulosa Books on Castro Street is
2000.
also an accomplished author.
This was my very first one in 2008. It was the first kids book to have any sort of transgender content, let alone a transgender kid main character.
Ewart says while the book 10,000 Dresses has been embraced by the queer community, it has been banned and challenged by others. So the decision to take J.K. Rowling's series of Harry Potter books off the shelf wasn't taken lightly.
And normally they would have been right there.
Ewart says he did what he felt was right to him.
Setting an example of there are things to resist and choices to make, actions to take, and we all need more courage right now.
The idea originally came from Booksmith on Haight Street. The owners would not talk on camera, but sent over a statement saying they sell a number of titles by authors they don't agree with, but this case was different because Rowling has pledged to fund legislation and campaigns they say would hurt the trans community. Camden Avery, the co-owner of Booksmith, wrote, "We're one private business making a decision to align our business practice with our own values and our customers' values. The freedom to do which, if I'm honest, is one of the most rewarding parts of operating as a truly independent bookstore." Fabulosa Books says it couldn't agree more.
Seeing that people were like, no, this is important, somebody took a stand, it's like, okay, well actually then, yeah, we want to be counted too. So it's not just one lone bookstore.
Some on social media have criticized the bookstore's actions, saying that it's equivalent to banning books. Ewert says this is just a show of solidarity to stand for the community he serves.
It's so much better to use language to broaden people's hearts, broaden the world, all that, and not to condemn and vilify.
I saw my friend's book there, Stephen Rowley's The Guncle, which is another great book.
Aww.
Highly recommend it. You know, we talk about safe spaces all the time. Oftentimes you think about them, a gay bar, a gay club, but also a bookstore can be a safe space.
Absolutely.
And a book can be a safe space.
Absolutely. I mean, I love going to bookstores. First of all, it's quiet, so my crazy everything going on in life.
Right.
But then you get in there and you just know people are curious for knowledge. It's like it's a safe space. You know it.
It is, and it's so important, right? Let's talk about another business, because business can be leadership, business can be advocacy. And our Itai Hod, my friend, found owners of a Bay Area studio giving non-binary customers a new place to get their yoga on and become themselves. Namaste here.
Namaste, baby.
Inhale, arms wide.
In the heart of Oakland,
Normal breath in.
is a yoga studio where flexibility is more than just touching your toes.
3 breaths.
It's a way of life. Marla Miller, who uses she/they pronouns, is the owner of Banana Yoga, a place where people like her can do something rare these days.
Exhale out our air.
Breathe.
Was it a deliberate decision to call this a non-binary business?
I think it happened organically. I myself am non-binary, and they say your vibe attracts your tribe.
Let's exhale out our air.
Most of the instructors and clientele here identify as gender expansive, a term for anyone who doesn't fit neatly into a male or female box.
Inhale.
People like Deanna Lise Resto, a student who goes by they, he, she, who says this is the first place that felt right.
I know that I can be me here.
According to a 2022 Pew study, about 5% of young adults say their gender differs from their sex assigned at birth. From gender-neutral fashion to non-binary haircuts, this once overlooked market is taking shape. Rex Wild, a trans non-binary consultant, says since 2021, the number of transgender and non-binary certified businesses has more than doubled.
We're only going to be seeing more small businesses that open up specifically catering to this market.
Release your ankle.
Marlo believes safe spaces like this one aren't just welcoming, they're essential.
If we focus on our members of a community who need the most help, everyone else will benefit.
Stretching norms.
Stay for 3.
And bending over backwards to make sure every body feels safe.
Block goes off to the side.
Oh, I just caught myself doing a yoga breath there. I heard you do it too.
Yes.
Let's namaste down on the parade route. Kelsey Thorad has been holding it down for the San Francisco Pride Parade, where the queer joy is nonstop. Kelsey, good to see you today.
Hey, yeah, it's been a fun morning so far, you guys. You know, we're at the point in the parade where we're starting to see a lot of the bands come through. We're also starting to see a lot of the local politicians. We just saw State Senator Scott Wiener go by in his signature kind of metallic jacket. that he wears to all of these different pride parades. But I did, before we end the show, I did want to give the shady side of the street some love. So I wanted to talk to some people out here. Hi, how are you guys doing? You got great outfits on, so I thought I had to talk to you. How has the parade been so far for both of you?
It has been so wonderful. We love every minute of it, every single organization, every single person coming out supporting the vast queer community here in San Francisco.
Where are you guys from? Are you from here or?
Los Altos.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
close.
So have you been to the parade before?
This is our first time.
Wow. So was it all you thought it was going to be? More?
It was just amazing. I mean, this is a year where it's been very hard for trans youth, and so we really felt it was time to come out and just celebrate, and we really needed that this year.
I can see you kind of tear it up. I mean, can you just talk about what it means to bring your family out here and to maybe get some relief and feel some excitement?
You know, when healthcare is actually being affected in California for trans youth, we need a little joy. And so I wanted my daughter to feel like, you know, she's accepted, she feels joy, and she can just be who she wants to be. And there are thousands and thousands of people who will accept her.
And how much fun are you having? Are you really enjoying your time out here?
I'm really enjoying my time out here. It's such a wonderful experience to kind of be able to see this in a world that I'm gonna grow up into. It's very promising for me, and I'm very hopeful for the future that us youth will kind of represent something, be a lot more diverse and a lot more open-minded about kind of our opinions and our beliefs and how we can change the world to benefit everyone instead of just a select few people. So it's very important that I'm very hopeful and I'm having a lot of fun here.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be a part of that. It seems like you will be. Well, thank you both so much for talking to us. Enjoy the day today. Have a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks, guys. Enjoy. You know, it's been really fun, as you guys can see. You know, we're just getting so many different stories from so many different people out here along the parade route. People out here for so many different reasons. You know, people are just out here to have fun. People out here to make a statement. People out here to find relief. You know, how are you guys doing? I see the Giants jersey, so how are you guys doing? Are you having fun at the parade?
Great. Awesome year. Yeah, totally good. Appreciate all the support. Always a good time. Always a good time.
How many parades have you guys gone to?
At least 20.
Okay, at least. Okay.
President.
Well, how would you say the weather compares today?
Cooler than it normally is. It's usually a lot hotter, but it's gorgeous weather. Everyone's having a good time. Nobody's passed out yet.
That's what we like to hear. Enjoy the day. You guys are on the shady side too, so you got it right if you're looking for the cool weather. Thanks, guys. Well, you know, the parade's still going on, Reed. People are still having a great time. You know, the weather's great. The mood is even better. It's been a lot of fun to talk to all these people out here.
Well, and you know what our drag queen friends say? No tea, no shade. That's
shade.
right. Thank you so much, Kelsey, and big love to everybody out there. And I want to thank Baby Shakes Monroe for joining me on this Pride Sunday as we think about hope and its never silent quality, and we remember that kid in a closet somewhere in some small town who may be watching right now. Baby, take like 10 seconds and talk to that young person listening right now.
I love you. I see you. There are millions of people across the planet who see you and support you, and don't give up. Love is there.
Love is there. So to that kid in Jackson, Mississippi, in Minnesota, or right here in the Bay Area or elsewhere, thanks for looking to the flag flying in the Bay Area. Hope, love, and pride. You remember those words today with every step. Hope, love, and pride. Just say it over and over and over until we can realize it in every minute of our lives. We know that you are the voice on the call in the night. And this city, take it to the bank. We will always pick up for you. Happy Pride, everybody. Keep hope alive. I want you to hear this little song I wrote just for you.
Wanted pride for the past and pride for the fight. I am the voice on the call in the night. You're up and running with your marches in stride. My main street still doesn't know the colors of pride. So I look to you as a beacon of light. But I'm watching you in your city on the hill. Wanting a song for the hopeless and love when there is none. Wanting a will for a win when I live where there is none. Wanting pride for the past and pride for the fight. I am the voice on the call in the night. Wanting a song for
All right, before I get you ready for Sunday, I just want to give you a quick review on what Saturday was like, because we came close to 100 yesterday. And when we're talking about a weekend, oftentimes you want to compare one day to the next. You know what Saturday felt like. I'm going to show you Sunday's numbers in a second in comparison to this, because you're not doing this again. It was 97 degrees yesterday in Concord, 67 in San Francisco. Take a look at the Tri-Valley. Your numbers were well into the 90s, and San Jose in the mid-80s. Some of us really get a cool down. Others, maybe you're just going to repeat and do the same day. Let me show you what I mean by that. As we advance our way through this day, watch the fog melt back that we've been looking at this morning. This much we've already looked at. This is where we left off in the last visit. But once that fog melts back today and we get into plenty of sunshine, what does this day look like? Well, it's going to be a little bit cooler. Look at the daytime highs here. Remember that 88 from yesterday in Concord? Now you're only, I should say, remember the 97 from yesterday in Concord. You're only going to 88 today. Now that's going to feel better. It's still a warm day, but you're not going to be within striking distance of 100. Santa Rosa, I don't think things are going to change all that much for you today. You'll probably have pretty much the same day today that you had yesterday. Clouds in the morning, sunshine by the afternoon, and you can see the numbers down there in the Santa Clara Valley, a few degrees cooler. Instead of being in the upper 80s, it'll be mid-80s there today. That's your weekend. But what happens over the next few days is you're going to see this in the 7-day forecast in 1 second. The marine layer, like it is out there this morning, is going to start building back in a much more noticeable way and having an impact on the day. So before I show you the 7-day forecast, and we're going to take a look at just how much of an influence it'll have in terms of numbers and cooling us down and keeping things a bit cloudy, how do we go through periods like this? Because we are about to enter a period where the marine layer is going to be a lot more notable than it had been. So it's like it surges on shore, and we go for like 3 or 4 days where we wake up and it's marine layer gray, and then all of a sudden it goes away and we go like 3 or 4 days where it's like it was never even here. Let me show you how it is about to come back. You wouldn't see it on the regular satellite. You really don't see much on here. Even when we look at a different channel in the infrared, you still don't see much. Even when we look at the water vapor, you don't see much. But down here, this is where it is. See anything? Well, it's a big dry slot down here. That's what the rust color shows you. But there is the very beginnings of a subtle counterclockwise spin. Watch what develops right here. Look at that. What you're seeing on here is just vorticity. In other words, where's the counterclockwise spin in the atmosphere? This is not going to be a storm. But what it is going to be is an area of low pressure that develops right off the coast for the next few days. I just took us all the way to Tuesday. That matters. This is how you deepen the marine layer. Because if you get an area of low pressure like this, that will allow the marine layer to grow in extent. It's going to get higher, and because it gets higher and deepens, it will be able to go farther inland. That's how we get these June gloom, or coming into July now this week, no sky July. Going to be with us for the next few days, and you can see that thing's going to be passing overhead, and it will be a factor here with us for the next few days. So let's see what that looks like in the 7-day forecast. And now, hopefully, that sets the stage for why we're going to be seeing more clouds showing up in these terrariums and cooler numbers. This is our inland microclimate. There's that 88 we just discussed. Now look at each one of these next days. I think by tomorrow, on Monday, even if you're not waking up to low-gray clouds for the inland East Bay today, I think you will have them for Monday. I think the clouds will be able to get over the East Bay Hills. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then the Tri-Valley and the Diablo Valley, you wake up to the marine layer. And you can see the numbers are going to come down. And then look at 4th of July, Friday. That's going to be the coolest day in the whole forecast. And I think we should probably, looking at this, we should probably start thinking about 4th of July fireworks, perhaps having a bit of an issue this year with the marine layer, which happens here so often, where, you got to gauge it right down to the wire. Will we be able to see the fireworks? Will we not? Will the marine layer get in the way? And more on that as we get closer to it, but start thinking ahead of the likelihood that perhaps the marine layer is going to be a factor in the fireworks this year. Take a look at the Bay. Daytime highs in the mid-60s and plenty of clouds.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Sunday, June 29th. I'm Max Darrow. A major political move out of San Francisco. State Senator Scott Wiener just filed paperwork to run for Congress in 2028, setting up a possible challenge to longtime Representative Nancy Pelosi. Wiener plans to run for her seat once she retires, likely in 2026 or 2028. He's a strong advocate for housing and public transit and been a vocal critic of President Trump. Pelosi has not said whether she will seek re-election next year or not. If Wiener wins, he would be the first openly gay Congress member from San Francisco. The Golden State Valkyries are back in action tonight, taking on the Seattle Storm at Chase Center. The Valkyries head into the game having won 3 of their last 4 in their first season. They've already set a WNBA record with 7 consecutive sellouts at home. Sportico reports the team is now valued at $500 million, the most ever for a women's sports franchise. Tip-off tonight's at 5:30. You can catch the action on Pix Plus 44 Cable 12. Pride weekend brought out powerful energy to Dolores Street as the so-called Dyke March returned for the first time since the pandemic. Celebration, activism, and visibility all were front and center. As people packed the streets, many came to watch, but the moment pulled many in. One marcher shared how the word dyke once felt like an insult growing up, but events like this flipped the script. The march focused on visibility, activism, and access. Marchers and organizers say this event is all about showing up loud and proud. Listen.
That's about reclamation too, we all got called that in school, now it's so nice to just see it used positively.
Participants say every step matters and every voice counts, especially now with rights under threat nationwide. The giant pink triangle on Twin Peaks will be taken down this afternoon as Pride Month nears an end. The pink triangle symbol was once a mark of hate in Nazi Germany, but activists have since reclaimed it as an expression of pride. A similar triangle first appeared on the hillside back in 1996, but today it spans 240 feet. Volunteers will start taking down the triangle at 4:30 this afternoon. Earlier this month, a 19-year-old man was arrested for vandalizing this installation. Another protest unfolded in Union Square on Saturday, this one honoring Iranians still risking their lives for freedom. Decades after toppling the Shah, Iranians still fight a harsh Islamic regime that crushed hopes for democracy. A photo display honored more than 120,000 killed in that struggle. Survivors say protests won't move the regime, but organized resistance might. They don't want foreign aid, just strong international support and recognition for their push to build a free, non-religious democracy with equal rights for all.
The people of Iran don't want any money, they don't want any arms. What they do want is a firm policy against the Ayatollahs, and that firm policy is formulated in recognizing the Iranian resistance movement.
Organizers say they will keep showing up here in the Bay Area until the voices of the Iranian people are heard nationwide. Now, this comes after a Democratic proposal to limit the president's war powers was voted down on Friday in the Senate. Sponsored by Senator Tim Kaine, the measure would have required the president to get congressional approval before any further strikes on Iran. Starting Tuesday, Caltrain is raising its base fare by 25 cents. The railway is staring down a $75 million budget deficit over the next decade. The agency warns that without new funding, it may have to cut service, close stations, or trim costs. Despite the challenges, Caltrain is running more trains than ever before and saw ridership jump 55% this May when compared to last May.